Alright, we're doing another VOD review. This time, our hero today is not acrylic, unfortunately. It is DefectDoll on the Mercy. Not Ana, it's just a bait. They're gonna switch to Mercy after. Holy crap, this is so annoying. Oh wait, there we go. Yep, that's the Mercy. Our hero is in placements, but our hero is about Plat level. And I assume is a support main. Also, their duo is a support main, which is pretty neat. You can really spice it up with the communication and things like that. You can really keep each other alive a lot more and coordinate support ults. So looking at the team comp, you have triple DPS pseudo dive. If you replace McCree with Tracer, it would actually be pretty good, I'd say. But McCree is fine. Solo tank diva is not the best, but at the same time it's not the worst. You have kind of a pharmacy dive essentially, and if you just dive on the same target, you should come out on top. Maybe. It sounds kind of redundant, but that's how dive works. First things first, you jump to the Pharah right away, which is good, but at the same time you did not look at your team to see which way they were going. So if they went to the right, as they actually do, and as you'll see in a second, you're completely cut off, and actually in a vulnerable position. You were in a vulnerable position there for a brief moment. If they had a hog, which you don't know what heroes they have until like 10 seconds or 15 seconds into the match. What if they had a hog? Could be dead, or if they had a widow, you would be dead right here. So you gotta really pay attention to where your character is on the map. Multiple times we'll see this as the common theme of this video, is to look around more and be aware of, or try to track everyone's positions. You don't have to track the exact location of every single hero of your team, but try to know generally where your main priority targets are. So like if you're playing Mercy with Pharah, your number one priority target would be Pharah, because Pharmacy OP. If you need help, just fly to her. If your team is not dying, you could just stick to her and damage boost her. Your other priority target would be your other support, this case being Zen. If he needs help, you want to know where he is so you can fly to him and help him. Or if you need help, you want to know where he is as well. Communicate with your other support and try to know when you can help them and where you guys are. The third priority, we can group the two tanks together because they're probably going to be, ideally they'll be near each other most of the time, which is Diva, Winston. In this meta's dive, but for this game, your other priority target would be Diva. Try to know where she is. She's probably going to be glowing critical a lot, honestly. Critical health. So you can fly to her really easily. The other DPS, you could just keep ref tabs on them. That's whatever. Lol. I don't know if you have toggle Guardian Angel on, because you're overshooting a lot of your Guardian Angels. And by turning it off, it allows you to time like how far you travel with your GAs, and it helps a lot. Right now you should be with your Pharah, because during these dead phases, I guess, poke damage is really important, and it can even secure you some picks here and there. Alright, nice job pocketing the Pharah when nothing's happening. You should just be on the Pharah like 24/7 right now, because Pharah does so much work. Like after like these pre-fight phases where the poke happens, Pharah can maybe even get a pick here and there. And here your team shouldn't even be peeking. This is insanely risky as they have a hog. And there he goes. It's really risky, and the reward is just what, a few percentages of ult charge. It's really not worth it. Team should just wait for everyone to group up as 6 and then go in at the same time. And this is like, it's unbelievable how much it happens in like every elo, where people just don't group up and trickle in one by one, or even just peek really bad angles. Pretty good Valk engage here. And again, this is the theme of knowing or paying attention to where your character is in the map. It worked out, but if we look at our hero's position, just kind of standing just out in the open. Like as Mercy, you wanna basically your number one goal should just be to stay alive. And again, you're kind of standing in the open here, without any cover. When you're playing Mercy, you always want to have somewhere to run to. You always want to have a safe haven and some walls to hide behind. And like the McCree ult here was pretty random, unpredictable, but if you were standing beside some cover, you could have easily escaped that. Or if you're standing on this side where your team is, you could have escaped that. Alright, so this is round 2. Thinks about the Ana switch, but doesn't go for it. I would like to play Ana, but these are only squishies. True. I would actually pick Mercy over Ana as well here. Everyone coordinated going down mid. Very nice, very nice. D.Va actually matrixing over Genji's deflect. Not the best, but it's literally, it doesn't matter. Should be looking at your Zen right here, but he turned out okay. Good job flying to your Pharah occasionally. Genji died. This is a pretty safe res. But you should have looked behind you when you're resing. When you're resing, you don't need to look at the guy you're resing. So when you're resing, it's a good opportunity to just take a sweep. Like just do a 360 with your mouse and like take in your surroundings. Following D.Va is a good choice here too. Pretty good positioning, good pocketing on the Genji actually. I should look around more. Like when you're healing someone, you don't need to look at them because the health bar is right below your crosshair. I've noticed you just walk in the middle of the hallway, and like when you're on the point, you don't really walk along the walls. You just kind of stay in the middle, floating around, and that leaves you very open. It's safe now, but let's say you're here. It's safe. This is okay, but if you're standing in the middle like this, pretend there's no one here. You're standing in the middle like this, and if someone peeks the corner like a hog, you have nowhere to run to. You can't run to the other wall because you're so far away from it. If you just play close to the walls, you can just duck or just literally just hide behind them whenever you want for easy, safe access. Right, you should utilize your damage boost a lot more here, especially in these pre-fight phases. It's actually extremely effective at building your teammates' ults. Good pocket on the McCree. But usually when McCree's high nooning like that, you have to be ready for him to take damage, because like 100% he's going to take damage, especially if your team has no shield. So you should be right clicking on him, but at the same time, you should not only look at him, but watch like who's shooting at him, and try to predict the damage that's coming into him, and be ready to switch over to healing mode really fast, because this guy he's like, when he ults, everyone's looking at him. You have to be ready to. When the Pharah is ulting, you're damage boosting here, but it's honestly better to just not damage boost Pharah ults at all, because Pharah's ult already does so much damage. It even goes through Transcendence. Just a little bit more damage will not make too much of an impact, but however, she is literally immobile and an easy target for anyone, so you should just leave the healing beam on Pharah and don't even consider about damage boosting, because keeping her alive is so much better than having to risk. Like if you're damage boosting, you risk a lot more. So all in all, work on those healing reactions and switching between damage boost and heal a lot faster, and switching between them better in certain scenarios. Like certain scenarios you'd be on heal beam when damage boost is better. Sticking to walls and really paying close attention to where your character actually is. Another one would be knowing where your teammates are in terms of priority. So we talked about Pharah. If you have a Pharah, your other support which is your best friend. Should be your best friend in when you're playing. Always keep tabs on your other support. Always. And then your tanks, and of course your other DPS, which is like last. And of course, in fights, always pocket like Genjis or McCrees that are ulting, Pharahs that are ulting. And try to heavily prioritize the heal beam as opposed to the damage beam. For now, I say just stick with the heal beam when pocketing them. Let's say if Genji's ult. But later on, as you improve, as your reactions get better, you can mix some damage boosting in there to squeeze out the value. But melee right now, you really don't want them to die. The most important thing, actually, I think, is awareness. You always have to look. You have to look around a lot more than you do. There's some times where you look around and pay attention to stuff that's going on, which is really good. But a lot of the other times, you're just kind of tunnel visioning on who you're healing. You don't need to look at who you're healing a lot of the time because the health bar shows right below your crosshair, and you just abuse that and look at something else. And I think that will save your life a lot of times. A lot of times you'd be healing someone and someone else on your team would die, or you'd be healing someone and then you wouldn't know there's like someone behind you. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you learned something from it, and I will see you in the next one.